maybe you've booked a spontaneous trip to Ibiza with the boys, or you have a date in 2 weeks, or just had a massive binge and now want to get back into summer shape. And that's why you've clicked on this video. Now, good news, in this video I will show you how you can maximize fat loss in 2 weeks. And you now probably think to yourself, well, 2 weeks aren't a long time. Can I really expect fat loss and a visible difference in only 14 days? Well, the thing is, yes, it is possible, but those 2 weeks aren't gonna be fun. You will feel restricted. You will feel depleted and not have much energy in your workouts. But still, if you're able to keep in mind how you will look after those 2 weeks and then get motivation from this, I'm sure you'll be able to push through it and actually get the results that you want to get. And in this video, I will talk about all of the things which will help you to achieve that. Now, the main points are gonna be water retention, carb intake, the deficit, cardio, and muscle loss, and how we can prevent it from happening to us. I will cover all of those points, explain you how you can structure your diet and the whole approach for fat loss so that you can look amazing after 2 weeks. Now, quick disclaimer, of course, you aren't gonna be able to look stage ready and be shredded down to your bones, but still, depending on your starting point, you can look amazing and definitely beach ready and be the guy where people start turning their head because he has such a good shape. Now, as I mentioned, it depends on your starting point. In this video, I will talk about a plan which helps you to go from 20% body fat to visible abs, because most people are around about 20% body fat, and I was as well this winter and was able with this plan to achieve the results that I wanted to achieve. This means if you're also around about 20% body fat, you can guess it with this list here, then this plan is perfect for you. Otherwise, if you're heavier, then you maybe have to do this for 4 weeks, but still, when thinking about it, 1 month just goes by in no time. Perfect, so now let's right away start with the first point, which is water retention. This is actually our friend for this plan, because water retention is something which is very easy to get rid of, but still makes us look very bad when we have it. And many people are walking around with puffy faces around stomach and no definition at all. And this oftentimes is because they're holding on to loads of water. That's why this is the very first thing that we should get rid of to start getting closer to our end goal of being beach lean. Now, water retention can have many reasons why it actually got there. Many people are just eating too much sodium. This is mainly because they're eating fast food all the time, and those foods have loads of sodium in there because it makes food taste great. This is why it's very helpful if you start cooking your own foods and limit your sodium intake. Only by cooking your own foods you can actually have an impact on this. Otherwise, somebody just puts as much salt as he wants to in your food and you're the one just eating it. That's why the first step is cooking our own foods and limiting our sodium intake. Then right away moving on to the second one, which is our carb intake. And this is actually linked to our water retention, because when you're eating carbs, per every gram of carb that you eat, 3 grams of water gets stored in our body. This is why it just makes sense when we eat lots of carbs that we're just heavier and are holding onto more water. And if you want to avoid that, we just have to start eating less carbs. This is why I recommend you to not eat more than 100 grams of carbs a day in those 2 weeks. Now, this is gonna be brutal. I personally have struggled a lot with doing this because I love carbs, and many people are also gonna struggle with doing this, but I can tell you guys, it will make a huge difference, and you will see the scale going down very fast because you get rid of so much water weight. The only time I recommend you to eat some carbs is maybe before and after your workouts, because this helps you to fuel your sessions, have great trainings, and then again restore your glycogen stores in your muscles, which still helps you to feel full and makes your muscles pop out a bit more, which enhances the beach look even more. Then moving on to one of the most important factors for those 2 weeks and for our fat loss transformation, and it is the calorie deficit. And here I have to say we are gonna have to do a aggressive deficit, otherwise we won't be able to see really a difference. This is why I recommend you to go into a 1000 calorie deficit every day. Now this can sound pretty crazy, and yes, of course it is a very high calorie deficit, but let's say your maintenance is around about 2800 or maybe even 3000 calories depending on your weight and height. Then by eating 2000 calories you already have this 1000 calorie deficit. Now let's say you're someone who isn't very heavy and also isn't like 6 foot, like for example me. I'm 80 kilograms and 176 centimeters, and my maintenance is only around about 2600 to maybe 2700. That's why I would only be able to eat 1600 calories, which would be very difficult to stick to. For those, we can start just implementing a bit more cardio, which actually is right away the next point, which will help us to get into this 1000 calorie deficit. Here I still don't recommend you to do intense cardio sessions. This won't help you a lot for this transformation. Now I personally don't even think that you will have the energy to do very intense cardio, but still, just that I have said it, you still shouldn't be doing this type of cardio. This is for endurance runners, people who just want to have good endurance but don't care about the way they look, because endurance runners are skinny. That's why we should still just stick to low intensity cardio. So this cardio, like for example walking. This is something I recommend anyone to do if he wants to lose body fat, because this cardio taps into our fat stores and not into our glycogen stores. And this is exactly what we want if you want to look leaner and burn body fat. I usually aim for about 10,000 steps a day. I try to implement it in my lifestyle very easily by just going on to walks when I have a phone call, and maybe even during lunch break whilst checking my phone, I just go for a quick walk. Over time this adds up and brings me very easily to 10,000 steps a day, which burns about 400 calories and really supports this calorie deficit. So I only have to eat about 600 calories less than usual, because together with the 10,000 steps I'm right away in the 1000 calorie deficit. Great, now the last point, muscle loss, and how we can prevent it from happening to us, because you probably didn't click on this video just to learn how you can get skinny in 2 weeks. You want to just lose body fat and keep your muscle to look beautiful on the beach and have a great physique. That's why we definitely don't want muscle loss. And the good news are that it probably doesn't happen, because 2 weeks aren't a long time, and muscle loss oftentimes only happens after being in a calorie deficit for a very long time. That's why we shouldn't worry about it much. We should just make sure to still train intensely and keep the strength in the gym, which could be difficult if you aren't eating loads of food. So maybe if you see that your strength is going down after already 2 or 3 days, then just eat a little bit more carbs. This will help you to get better training sessions. Still, maybe you will have to neglect the principle of being below 100 grams of carbs a day, but at the end of the day, it's more important to just be in a calorie deficit and of course keep your muscle. Great, so now these are all of the things which will help you to get in great shape in only 2 weeks. Now many people are probably gonna ask themselves right now, well, how much fat loss can I actually expect? And for this I really quick want to go over the actual numbers and show you which results you can expect. Now when we stick to a 1000 calorie deficit for 14 days, we will achieve a 14,000 calorie deficit in only 2 weeks. And 1 kg of fat stores about 7,000 calories. So we will lose 2 kilograms of pure fat. And it actually doesn't even stop there. We will also lose lots of weight because of the water weight reduction. This is probably gonna be even more than just a pure fat loss, because this could go up to 3 kilograms in those 2 weeks. So overall you can expect a 5 kilogram reduction in those 2 weeks. And I can guarantee you, if you're around about 20% body fat, this will make a huge difference. And you will feel very confident in the way you look and actually will stand out of the crowd and look great on the beach. So if this sounds like something that you want to achieve, then you now know exactly what you have to do to achieve that. And I can guarantee you it's worth going through this harsh routine for 2 weeks, because after it you'll be very proud of yourself and just feel great about the way you look. Now if you found this video helpful, I would appreciate it a lot if you would like and subscribe to see more content like this. And then I will see you in the next one.